Hello, welcome to a new historic Temur Lotus Field deck update video. I'm going to discuss changes I made to the main deck as well as the sideboard, and then go over why I have the number of each copy of a card in the deck. Starting off with the main deck changes, as you can see, I got rid of all the 2-mana redundant spells that didn't really contribute to the combo, and they were not very consistent either, such as Dress Down and Sylvan Scrying. I replaced them all with Otherworldly Gaze, which is 1 mana. It has lowered the overall mana value of the deck by a lot. I now have a 1.8 deck, and this card serves 3 purposes. The first one is going to be similar to Ponder. You can set up your Lotus Field combo on turn 1, cast it during your opponent's turn because it's instant speed, which is actually kind of a little bit better than Ponder. Plus, they're not going to be wanting to Thoughtseize your Otherworldly Gaze. Number 2 purpose is you fill up your graveyard similar to Tomescar, which I have taken out of the deck and just kept in the sideboard here instead. And then number 3 purpose is going to be late game. You can flash it back and try to set up your win condition enablers, Pour Over the Pages, and Underworld Breach. Moving on to Noxious Revival, this card has 3 purposes as well as 1 bonus purpose. So the first one is you could use it to put a card on top of your deck if your spell gets countered by a control deck. Number 2 is you can fizzle a reanimate target. And number 3, you can fizzle a surgical target. The bonus thing is something that actually comes up more times than you think, is where you have Stifle, Crop Rotation in your starting hand, but you have maybe a second Crop Rotation, but you're stuck with 1 land and it's a green land. So what you can do is you can Crop Rotation to transmute the land into a better land, and then you can Noxious Revival the green land back to the battlefield, and then you can continue to stifle your Lotus Field. With that being said, let's move on to the sideboard changes. The first change I made was into the Floodmaw, which I had to replace the Pyroclasm with. Pyroclasm is no longer needed because I have 3 Wrath of the Skies here. But the benefit of Floodmaw is against things like Planeswalkers, Gideon and Narset being the most important ones. And then the other change I made was I replaced a Pithing Needle with a Pact Negation. Pithing Needle is no longer relevant in this meta, and Pact Negation is really good against control decks. Lastly, I'm going to talk about why I went with the number of each copy of a card in the deck. So if I have 4 copies of a card, that means that I'm fine with having it in my starting hand, and it's really good, such as Pour Over the Pages. Most of the cards in the 1-drop pile are 4-ofs, except for 2 Peaks, which is a crutch card that can give you relevant information to lead you to winning the game. So I just kept it as a 2-of. Noxious Revival, it's a 1-of fun-of card. It leads to very interesting games, so it's a 1-of. Stifle is not as valuable as having a consigned memory, and then kind of falls into the category of cards that I don't really want to have in my starting hand, compared to my 4-of cards like consigned to memory, which is really good in the Eldrazi meta. I have 3 Underworld Breach as well as 3 Hidden Strings, because I have them also in my sideboard to prevent my opponent from surgically extracting them and making me lose the game. I have another Surgical Extraction Protection package with Wish and Fey Wishes. So if they exile one of them, I still have the other one to win the game. And that is the deck. Thank you guys for watching.